You have no deals in escrow, no active listings, no appointments scheduled. The pipeline is dry and the panic is real. This is the episode for the agent who needs results in the next 30 days or less. Not theory, not working on your mindset, not even the 90-day plan, although that's a good idea too. A specific action list starting today that produces appointments this very week.
Welcome to Real Estate Coaching Radio, starring award-winning real estate coaches and #1 international best-selling authors Tim and Julie Harris. This is the #1 daily radio show for realtors looking for a no BS authentic real-time coaching experience. What's really working in today's market, how to generate more leads, make more money, and have more time for what you love in your life. And now your hosts, Tim and Julie Harris.
This is all about what to do right now if your pipeline is empty or it might soon be empty. And this is something that's relevant to every agent, whether they're obviously new or they're experienced. I'm going to tell you guys a story about a couple coaching clients. And Trent and Andy, yes, I'm talking about you guys. They are having an amazing year. They're going to have the best year of their entire careers. They are phenomenal at lead generation, of having conversations, really great at listing appointments. I would say, for the most part, they're 7 or 8 out of 10 out of most of the things you'd score somebody on. And by the way, just being 7 or 8 about in most things that in real estate will get you to home run pretty much all the time, which is what they're experiencing. So I think they have like 10 or 15 listings that they're going to be putting on the market soon. They've got I don't remember how many closings right now. I don't have my notes in front of me. They're doing great. They started building their momentum into their year this year in third or really fourth quarter of last year. And that's the reason they're having so much success now. Every single one of my coaching sessions with them is focused on one thing, making sure that they're building momentum into the second half of this year. So I'm focused on every single call because they're not doing things textbook as far as their lead follow-up and asking questions and delivering with PLP and all the things. Like I said, they're doing an 8 out of 10 and they're still winning at a very high level. Well, where again, I'm fearful of is that they're not doing enough new lead generation, not carrying enough new leads into the second half of the year. So all the gains that we started to build, now it's been 9 months ago, basically, or 6 months ago, we're going to lose them because we don't have enough momentum going into the second half of the year, which means the first half of 2027 will be slow. So if you're a top producing agent, that's how you actually have to think. You have to be thinking about making a minimum number of contacts. You have to be thinking about what am I doing to foster those new relationships that are going to pay me 90 days from now, 6 months from now, maybe a year from now. That's what today's coaching session. Listen to me. That's what today's podcast is all about. Now, I remind all of you who are in Premier Coaching, make sure you're using the 10-90 plan, and that's how to take 10 listings in 90 days. This is today's show is a very, very basic overview. A lot of the things we really drill down on the 10-90 plan. The 10-90 plan is in the first level of Premier Coaching. It is exact, day to day, step by step, hour by hour, what you should be doing, what you should be saying. We left nothing to chance. There's accountability that's built in. There's a numbers analyzer that's built in. And of course, because this is part of Premier Coaching, you'll also have a daily semi-private coaching call with one of our Harris certified coaches. Those of you who have momentum like Andy and Trent, and you want to build it to the next level, do the 90-day plan or do the 10 listings in 90-day plan. Those of you who are on the other end of the spectrum just getting started, I just gave you essentially the fast track to get to the top of the mountain. Because when you have 10 listings and you've taken 10 listings in the next 90 days, some of you are going to be like, what am I supposed to do the next 90 days after that? Start it again.
Yeah, lather, rinse, repeat.
Do the plan again and again and again. And that's how you're going to always have at least 10 listings. In many of your markets, 10 listings is going to result in, let's say, 10 listings, average commission, 12 grand. That's 120,000. And if you work no buyers, all you're doing is selling your listings. And let's say 3 or 4 of those listings sold per month, which is pretty average in about every market. Maybe it's only 3, maybe it might be 2, right? Whatever, it doesn't matter. You're still making 300,000, 400,000, 500,000 a year in commissions. And that's off listings where there's no referral fees. That's what we teach you to do in Premier Coaching. I put a whole bunch of thoughts together there that should be motivating all of you. So make sure you join Premier Coaching. And also a reminder, so just go to premiercoaching.com. But a reminder, if you're with Julie and I at eXp Realty, we give you Premier Coaching for free. It's one of the many incentives that we offer to agents that are joining with us, that are aligning with us at eXp Realty. If you want to learn more about our eXp Realty group, if you're on Stitcher, Spotify, iTunes, whatever, just click the link below or just go to Why Libertas, WHY LIBERTAS.com, and learn more about our eXp Realty Group. And then, like I said, you get Premier Coaching for free. But look, as far as that goes, half of our coaching clients are not with eXp, not with us. That's great. We love you guys too. But if you're looking to upgrade your brokerage experience and you want to have all the incentives that we offer, I just gave you the path forward. Julie?
Yes. So let's talk about if you are actually without listings, without closings, and without appointments. So you're perhaps the most panicked and desperate sort of agent right now for whatever reason. Maybe you're a grizzled veteran and you just closed everything and you sold all of your listings and you were so busy that you got your eye off the ball and you became virtually leadless, and you're certainly listless. Maybe you are that brand new agent and you just haven't been at it long enough to have something in the pipeline. Doesn't matter what the reason. You've got to get into action quickly. So your first thing is, if it's meant to be, it's up to me. Don't wait. Don't wait for your broker to sprinkle leads on you. Don't wait for the interest rates to go down. Don't wait for a better market. You've got to get away from waiting. If it's meant to be, it's up to me. If you don't embrace that, it doesn't matter. We could have the best coaching in the whole world. If you don't make it up to you, you'll just be like, oh, that was a nice podcast, and go on your merry way and be dealless again. You've got to decide and own it that you're going to do something about it. So the first thing that I wrote down, Tim, is unless you are really freshly licensed and you just have absolutely zero leads, go to your lead follow-up. Those of you who have been around even 90 days and done 2 or 3 open houses and talked to your friends that you're in real estate, you probably have some leads that you either aren't calling frequently enough, aren't using a lead follow-up script with, aren't just asking for the appointment. Some of you follow up, but you never actually land the plane on the appointment. Would you agree with that, Tim?
Yeah, but they need to be using our pre-qualification script. That's the main thing. And set some rules for yourself. Lead follow-up. I'll hit these really quick, Jules.
Okay.
So you need to have lead follow-up rules. In other words, when they reach out to you, you are there to answer the phone. I know some of you are saying, I'm too busy. Well, some of your best leads are going to other agents. It's your own demise is your own doing because you're not answering the phone. And so let's say you start answering the phone, then what happens? And I know some of them are contacting you digitally. Most of them are. That's fine too. But your goal is to always speak to them. If someone messages you on Facebook or whatever, wherever the lead came from, get on the phone, because you're going to have multiple touch points that way and have a better chance of actually figuring out if there's somebody you want to spend time with. And to that end, you need to pre-qualify every one of them. Use our buyer pre-qualification script. I'm going to give you guys a little secret. One of the main focuses of our buyer pre-qualification script is to find out if they have a house to sell, because you need to focus on becoming a listing agent. So if you're a fast lead follow-up, ideally answer the phone in the first place. On your voicemail, on your phone, giving you guys 3 really important things. Hopefully you're paying attention. On your voicemail, do not give them these intricate, ridiculously complicated word problems to solve and how they're actually going to get a hold of you. That just makes you seem very disorganized or a little standoffish. So here's your voicemail. Hi, this is Tim Harris with eXp Realty. I will call you back within 5 minutes or less, and yes, you can set a timer. Please understand that your call is very important to me. Please leave your information, how I can call you back, with your best phone number. Now, if you're calling in the evening hours or during non-working hours, I'll call you back next day, first thing. Please leave your message now. Boom. That's it.
Not call another number. Don't call it, text a different number. Don't double opt in. Go to my website, send me a message there, or anything else. We're not using smoke signals. We're doing, voice to voice business. I have had, and you have too, Tim, and our coaches would attest to this, coaching clients who have said, number 1, answering the phone in the first place, life-changing. And number 2, calling people back with urgency, life-changing. You are unlikely to go through life very long being leadless when you fix this problem.
And that's the reason so many of you guys have to buy leads, because you don't know to do your own lead follow-up. You don't know how to pre-qualify them. So you're, in some cases, paying 40% of all your commission dollars to somebody that has those basic skills that you, for some reason, haven't taken the time to learn. That's the insanity of buying buyer leads.
So follow up with your leads urgently using lead follow-up scripts, most notably, of course, the buyer and seller pre-qualification. And for those of you who are sitting on what you believe to be a mountain of leads who you've never actually pre-qualified, there could be appointments sitting in there. So don't feel like you've got to go create a whole new lead generation thing or pay for leads if you haven't already conquered your own lead follow-up. That's why I start with that as number 1. The second thing in terms of immediate results will be to do a really killer open house using our open house system, not just sitting in open house, trying it out, calling your best friend realtor whose seller is beating up on them because they haven't had an open house. Do it the right way. And you should get immediate results. But again, going back to point number one, follow up with those open house leads the same evening. And when you really get good at open houses, you can even set an appointment at the open house with somebody who is coming to open houses because they're urgent. They only want to be in that neighborhood. Or maybe a lot of my clients work with higher end stuff. It's a relocating executive that has one weekend to make a decision. And they saw this neighborhood online and they thought they'd go to an open house. They don't have a realtor relationship. They want to go see property now. You can set appointments on the spot sometimes in open houses.
Yeah. And I guess the main thing, hopefully we're taking from this, the vibe of today's show, is that you're leadless because at some point you allowed yourself to become complacent. Or if you're new in the business, learn from today's show. You're going to have to work harder than you think you should for longer than you think you should at a level of intensity that maybe you've never worked before. You're going to have to fight like hell to dig the hole that you found yourself in. You need to take personal responsibility for it. And as you're looking over your shoulder and you're realizing that a lot of the reason that you're leadless right now or you're going in the wrong direction is because you've been doing things that are not, marketing, branding, focusing on TikToking and all the rest of it. Look, guys, I'm not even asking you to admit that maybe was a waste of your time. We're not going to do that today. What I want you to do is set that stuff aside and realize that none of those things are working at the level in which you thought they were or were told that they would. And you need to get back to focusing on the real work of real estate, which is just a few of the things that we're sprinkling into your synapses today, hopefully. Julie?
Yes. So I agree, everything, we said we wouldn't get into a bunch of mindset stuff, but there is an element of mindset that you've got to own it and stop blaming the market or your broker or, all your leads suck or whatever the case may be. You've got to own it. And if it's meant to be, it's up to me. So lead follow-up first, then a really great open house following an actual open house system that gets you real results, which leads you right back to lead follow-up. Then I wrote down prospect new build reps now you may get listing leads. Sometimes you get buyer leads from them, because they have people coming in the door all the time. Now that's going to be a little bit less immediate depending on what the listing referral is. You're asking them what happens to resale referrals. You can't close on their new construction if you haven't sold your old house. They're not going to take the listing. What happens to those leads? I also have had newer agents identify, maybe in their brokerage, maybe not, but listing agents that have tons of listings, but they never call back their sign calls. They don't hold open houses. They're sitting on leads that could be called back today. I have lots of things on my list, but I wanted to toss it back to you.
Well,
the main thing is get into action, obviously.
Julie, let's sidestep our script. So if you were, by the way, if you want our notes from today's show,
yes,
which we're not going to get to all of, we never do, make sure you go to our newsletter, which is harrisrealestatedaily.com, and subscribe to the newsletter, harrisrealestatedaily.com. All right, Julie. So I'm just going to ask you straight up. I already know your answer, by the way. If you wanted to get into action right away and you're brand new in real estate or you're listless or you just whatever, you now are finding yourself without any leads, it's going to be very tempting for you to buy leads, but you don't want to do that because you actually want to make a profit and you're tired of wasting time with wasting leads and you want to generate your own, you want to do it at the highest level. If you could only do, let's say, 3 things, what would they be? And lean towards your mic, sweetie.
I would start. Okay. So am I leadless or do I have
leadless? Completely leadless.
I got nothing to go on. Okay.
Yeah. You're leadless. And let's say you're low to moderate skill level.
Okay. I am absolutely number one because I want immediate business. If I was going after listings, I would say call expireds, but if I want faster business, even than that, I would do the open house drill immediately.
Me too.
Okay. Open house is number one.
Well, okay. Let's stop.
Yeah.
So the open house that you're going to hold open is going to be what type of house?
If I want an immediate closing, I'm going to do what I wouldn't normally do further in my career. I'm going to go to a first-time buyer neighborhood.
Agreed. Why?
Because they don't have a house to sell first.
That's right. And they're not going to have other relationships. And they're going to be more, they're going to listen to you. They're not going to, you're going to.
They might even be more motivated because maybe their lease is ending or they've got some kind of urgent thing going on. So I'm going to do a first-time buyer, whatever your lower end of like your average sale price, but entry level to your market. That's a nice neighborhood, right?
And that's the key. There's every community, there's 2 or 3 really desirable first-time home buyer areas. Where Julie and I started selling real estate, ours was a C37 in the MLS. And that market always had a line of buyers, even when the interest rates were in the 8s. And you know what? Does. It
Good
still
old
does.
fashioned 43214.
That's
Paid the
right.
bills.
Right. So if you're in
Yeah.
Columbus, Ohio, make sure you have that on your radar. But
Yeah.
we would do open houses there and we would, you know, we worked the crap out of the open houses. We had Enya playing. We would make the house smell like vanilla. We would, chat up every single person that walked in. And Julie and I, we weren't natural extroverts or salespeople. We didn't have any sales skills, but because we were making an effort, the buyers really loved it and appreciated it. And most of them had no houses to sell. Most of them, because they were first-time buyers, had a crappy experience with snooty agents who wouldn't work with them. And Julie and I had lenders at the ready. We'd get them pre-qualified, to which they were always really grateful for. And that was usually 30 to 60-day money.
And we knew about FHA loans, VA loans, first time buyer down payment assistance, the low down payment, the whole thing. You do have to have a little bit of that knowledge, but that'll take an
Definitely.
afternoon with your loan officer. So I would do that first. And I was thinking, Tim, I bet you our first 15 out of 20 deals were open house deals.
Oh, definitely. I mean, we
And
did
then the other
100.
five would have been FSBOs probably.
We did 103 transactions our first year with our pendings. And I'm sure what you said is right. And a lot of the others were those same sellers in that same neighborhood that were for sale by owner had then had to sell to buy their next house.
Yes.
So whenever a FSBO popped up in this market and the sellers knew it was a hot market, they could see the days in the market, we would go and get the FSBO. And all of them had houses. I remember one, Ruth Crow, we ended up buying her house.
Still own
It's
it.
funny. I don't remember any of the transactions after our second year in the business, but I remember all of them for our first year.
Me too.
It's funny. And so, yeah, I mean, those people would be two you guys get the point. Julie's
Okay, but that
advice
is a
there
point. That is a
great.
point though.
Yeah.
That's probably the first time that we, back then without even really knowing it, had the epiphany that it's not just one thing. You asked me for three things, right? So I
Yep.
would do open houses, but to your point about the other stuff that we got kind of as a result of the open houses is also prospect things around your open house. So part of our open house plan that we teach in Premier Coaching is that you're going to door knock the neighborhood before your open house. You're going to hit expireds and for sale by owners. You're going to do more than just one thing in order to get the results that you're looking for. You're also going to spend about 90, maybe even 100% of your working hours in lead generation. That is probably, I guess I would put that in a mindset category, a mindset shift, that your job is to do your job.
Well, but
which
define
is lead
that.
generation.
Define that. So what that means is everywhere you go, every single person that you run into is a potential lead, because you're selling something that every single person that you ever come in contact with is needing. You're selling a home, and every one of them need a home or a second home or a third home or what have you, right? That's where your mindset really does kick into gear, because you start seeing that leads are so hard to find. That's not true. Leads are everywhere. You're just not initiating conversations. And we teach you to do that obviously extensively in Premier Coaching. It's tuning your mental frequency to, I'm sorry to sound woo-woo, but abundance. And that's truly what it is. And then you will find indeed that there's always abundance around you all the time. And once you learn that you can create business when you want to, because you realize it's always around you, you have to dig yourself out of the hole, or, if you're new, you're going to have to build the momentum. But once you have done that, you realize you can do it. The key is to keep doing it forever. And then you're going to be financially free faster than you can possibly imagine. So we did say three things. Number one was open houses. Number two, obviously follow the open house plan and look for specifically FSBOs and any expireds that are in that community. And number three, I would say, furiously fast lead follow-up. It's all part and parcel of the same thing. Urgency. Go ahead, Julie.
I would pick up your phone, even if you don't have a polished CRM, you have contacts in your phone. You're not doing anything else currently except following up on your open house leads and calling perhaps for sale by owners in those same neighborhoods. You do have the time to talk to 100% of the people in your database. Does everybody in your phone, for example, or your CRM, if you have one, know that you are in real estate? Do they know that you help buyers and sellers and investors and people who want to flip and first-time buyers, whatever your case may be? If I were to call people out of your smartphone right now and ask them, A, if they know you, and B, what you do for a living, would they tell me? Also, we've had agents who do a letter or a postcard to that same database. But remember, you're trying to earn money now, and you want to ask them, who do they know who could use your help buying or selling real estate?
What do you notice is the recurring theme to every single point that we're making? It requires proactive Getting off your butt, stepping away from your computer or your screen, stop looking for things that are passive. So proactive versus passive. Most of you spend all your time doing passive. We want you to do proactive. Have conversations with people, do the open houses, talk to the for sale by owners, talk to the expireds, call your centers of influence and past clients, do furiously fast lead follow-up, talk to people to pre-qualify them. Talk to people. That is the key. The more people you talk to, the more you'll realize there's abundance around you at all times. You'll realize that everyone wants to buy or sell real estate. Everyone does, by the way, all the time. So when you discover this, you're then going to hopefully never lose that new thought. And you're going to always realize that everything you want in life's around, followed by more communication, actual proactive conversations with humans. In this age of AI, which we're definitely in, if you think you're going to be able to build your business passively through passive lead generation, you're crazy, because everybody else being fueled by AI or AI itself is going to beat you and everyone else at that game. The one game that AI will never be able to beat you in ever, and unfortunately this is also true with your human competitors, is actual proactive direct communication, because AI can't do it. It can't. And other humans won't learn to do it because they're going to be spending all their time behind screens trying to get AI to do all the heavy lifting for them. Have that thought, because that is the way forward. Challenge yourself. Why am I reluctant to do the real work of real estate? Why? Why are you reluctant to go and have conversations with folks? Why are you reluctant to ask, hey, by the way, Julie, before I let you go, who do you know is thinking about selling a home in this market that I should be helping? Why are you reluctant to actually bring value to your phone calls where people are actually, hey, guess what? Going to share a lead with you, or maybe they want to do a transaction themselves. That reluctance is your being reluctant to be actually successful financially. Julie?
Yeah. And, there are people listening or watching us that are thinking, well, I didn't think I was doing that. But that is actually what you're doing. They would not necessarily explain it the way you just did, but you are literally hiding out from your own business when you're not talking to people and you're not asking for business. Some of you are weird about asking, who do you know who could use my help buying or selling? Some of you are just really weird about that. It gets easier after the first 5 or 10 conversations, but you've got to break the ice. You can't continue to wait. And the other thing I wanted to say, Tim, because we're talking about making maximum communication or maximum contacts, right? You've got to be in front of people more. You've got to be proactive. Setting that aside, because that is true, don't get sucked into this circle prospecting business that some people teach. Well, it's just a numbers game. You've got to talk to 100 people a day. Okay, how can I talk to 100 people a day the fastest? I'm going to get a robo-dialer. I'm going to call this neighborhood. That is the literal definition of cold calling. You've got no reason to believe that anybody has a house to buy or sell. Yeah, you can make a lot of quick, short contacts, but they're not necessarily going to be valuable contacts.
That's
now,
right.
if it's around your own upcoming listing, or you've got an upcoming open house that you want to invite the neighborhood to, that's totally different. But if you're just flat out circle prospecting.
But even then, if you have a choice between calling and knocking, knock. Again, proactive lead generation. Oh, Tim and Julie are so old school. Damn right we are, because it works.
It's always worked.
It's always worked, always will work. And our message is more relevant now than it's been in the last 20 plus years that we've been coaching and training agents, 30 years that we've been in the real estate industry, because of AI. AI has made it so that proactive, going to actual folks to have actual conversations, skill set is where it's at. Argue against it in your head. Think of a reason why I might be wrong. Oh, Tim, you said AI can't call people. It can't. It's illegal. TCPA, Google it, or ask AI what it means. AI cannot do the real, it's not going to be able to call expireds. It's not going to be able to call centers of influence and past clients. It's not going to be able to go to the yoga class and, generate buyer leads for you or seller leads for you. It's not going to be able to do any of the things that requires a real human talking to another human. That is where the businesses always, and a vast majority have been made. And anyone in the business for a long period of time will tell you that. Oh, I know a Zillow Flex agent does 400 transactions a year. They make no money. They're spending all their money on the Zillow Flex referral fee, on paying the buyer agent's fees, and all the other fees. That's not, if you want to build that business, if you want to have all the glory and the fame from having done that, then that's a different game than what Julie and I are suggesting that you play. We're suggesting you play the sustainability game. We're suggesting you play the legacy game. We're suggesting you play the game that's going to result in the most net profit so you can build wealth for yourself. So one day you can be Rich. And the definition of it is very simple. It's where your money works for you and you no longer have to work for your money. Open your mind to the fact that nothing we just told you to do, suggested that you do, cost you anything. It doesn't require you to master the art and science of doing a TikTok video. Sorry if that sounded sarcastic. It meant to sound sarcastic, right? Nothing that we just asked you to do requires a complicated 14-stage funnel where you're going to have to run Facebook ads that may or may not work, or trying to optimize an A/B test. And nope, nothing required any specialized skill or hiring anybody who has specialized skill. We asked you to do the real work of real estate. Will you do it? Will you? It's up to you. It's for you to decide. Your way forward is very simple. You can just join Premier Coaching right now. Just click the link below or just go to premiercoaching.com. Or if you'd like, I'd be happy to give you Premier Coaching for free if you want to join with us at eXp Realty. The link down below it's there, or you can just go to Libertas, WHYLIBERTAS.com. Or if you're ready to join Libertas today, if you're ready to join eXp today and you want to fast track, you can text me directly. And please don't ask if it's AI when you text me. I wish it were, but it's not. Okay?
Not yet.
Text me directly at 512-758-0206. The link is down below. Just text me directly. And I usually get back with folks the same day, sometimes right away if I'm waiting for Julie, to go grocery shopping. I don't know what. I mean, last time, Julie, when you asked me to take you had to go like 10 stops and you had to make client calls in the car.
Yeah.
I did all my eXp lead follow-up waiting for you in the different parking lots.
I know, you were very efficient.
Yeah. Well, there you go. So guys, thank you for listening. Thank you for keeping this number one listen to daily podcast for real estate professionals in at least the United States. Have a fantastic day. We'll talk with you on the show tomorrow. Hello. Thank you for having watched this video. Please remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel.
That's right. And don't forget to hit that like button, leave your comments and questions below, and we will get right back with you.
Thank you for watching this video. And remember to watch the next one. You're going to love that one.